A father once made his son hammer a nail into the fence every time he lost his temper. But the real lesson wasn't about the nails. It was about what happened after they were pulled out. Stay with me, because this story will change the way you speak to the people you love forever. There was a boy named Elias, 17 years old, sharp mind, quick tongue, the kind of kid who always had a comeback, always had the last word. But Elias had a problem. When anger filled his chest, his mouth moved faster than his heart. He didn't punch walls. He didn't throw things. No, he used words. And words, as you're about to learn, can cut deeper than anything made of steel. One Thursday night, Elias came home from school, frustrated. A bad grade. A coach who embarrassed him in front of the team. His mother, a quiet woman who worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on, asked him a simple question. "How was your day, sweetheart?" And Elias exploded. "You want to know how my day was? Terrible. Like everything else in this house. Maybe if you actually made enough money, we wouldn't live in this place. Maybe if you were a better mother, things wouldn't be so hard for me." Silence. His mother didn't yell back. She didn't argue. She just stood there, holding a plate of food she had made for him after working a 12-hour shift. Her hands trembled, and a single tear rolled down her face before she quietly turned around and walked to her room. She closed the door softly, and that soft click of that door was louder than any slam. Elias's grandfather, a man of few words but deep wisdom, had seen it all from the hallway. He didn't scold the boy. He didn't raise his voice. He simply said, "Come with me." He handed Elias a hammer and a bag of nails. He walked him to the old wooden fence in the backyard. "Every time you lose your temper and say something hurtful," the old man said, "I want you to hammer a nail into this fence." Elias rolled his eyes, but something in his grandfather's calm gaze told him this wasn't a suggestion. The first week, Elias hammered 37 nails. 37. Each one a cruel word, a sharp insult, a moment he let his anger speak for him. But something started to shift. By the second week, the number dropped to 20, then 12, then 5, then 1. The act of walking outside, picking up the hammer, and driving a nail into wood, it forced him to see his anger, to feel the weight of it, to confront what he was doing to the people around him. One day, Elias went to his grandfather and said, with pride in his voice, "I didn't hammer a single nail today." His grandfather smiled gently and said, "Good. Now, I want you to pull 1 nail out for every day you go without losing your temper." Weeks passed. One by one, Elias pulled the nails out. And then came the day. The last nail was removed. Elias ran to his grandfather, smiling wide. "Look, the nails are all gone." His grandfather took him by the hand, walked him slowly to the fence, and said, "I'm proud of you, son. But I want you to look at this fence. Really look at it." Elias looked. The nails were gone, yes, but the holes remained. Dozens of them. Deep, rough, exposed. The old man knelt down beside his grandson and said something Elias would carry for the rest of his life. When you say things in anger, you can apologize later. You can take the words back. You can even be forgiven. But the wounds? The holes you leave in someone's heart? They never fully disappear. Your mother loves you more than her own life. But every cruel thing you said to her, she remembers. Not because she's holding a grudge, but because words don't just enter the ears, Elias. They bury themselves in the soul. That night, Elias walked into his mother's room. She was sitting on the edge of her bed folding laundry, still working, even at 11 p.m. He didn't say anything clever. He didn't have a comeback. He just dropped to his knees, wrapped his arms around her, and whispered, "I'm sorry, Mom, for every nail." She held him tight, and she forgave him, because that's what mothers do. But Elias never forgot the fence. So let me ask you something tonight. How many nails have you hammered? Into your mother, your father, your partner, your best friend? How many holes have you left in someone who would have done anything for you? Anger is temporary. It passes like a storm. But words? Words are permanent tenants in the hearts of the people who love you. Before you speak in anger, stop, breathe, and ask yourself one question. Will I be proud of this sentence in an hour, in a day, in a year? If the answer is no, swallow it, because you can always choose silence now and speak love later, but you can never unhurt someone.